Today I'm going to take you along to South Pasadena to check out some filming locations for the films 1978 Halloween, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and Back to the Future. Let's go! Our first filming location is in South Pasadena at the Michael Myers house. This is from the original 1978 Halloween film, and it is the house where a young Michael Myers in 1963, only 6 years old, puts on a mask on Halloween night and goes upstairs and murders his older sister, Judith Myers. The town in the story is Haddonfield, Illinois, but in reality, it's in South Pasadena, California. This is indeed the original house, however, it has been moved from a different location in South Pasadena. And fortunately for movie buffs, it has been preserved and is very easy to find. Now, once you've found the Michael Myers house, directly behind the Michael Myers house, you will find an art gallery called Sugarman Gallery. And the cool thing about Sugarman Gallery is that they embrace the original Halloween film. And during the season of October, near Halloween, they have an exhibit about the Halloween films, as well as events that celebrate the Halloween movies. In the very same neighborhood as the Michael Myers house in South Pasadena, you can also find Lorie Strode's house, the filming location of where the main character Lorie Strode lived. Of course, Lorie Strode was played by Jamie Lee Curtis, who had very famous parents. Jamie Lee Curtis's dad was Tony Curtis, that was in the movie Some Like It Hot, and Jamie Lee Curtis's mother was Janet Leigh, that was in the movie Psycho. Now, Jamie Lee Curtis was the scream queen of my generation, but her mother, Janet Leigh, was the scream queen of the previous generation, having been the scream queen in the movie Psycho in 1960. So not only was Jamie Lee Curtis an excellent choice for the role of Lorie Strode as far as her acting skills, but also because she had the notoriety of being the daughter of a scream queen of another very famous horror film. You can find Lorie Strode's house in South Pasadena at 1103 Fairview Avenue. South Pasadena was chosen as a filming location for the film Halloween in general because it gives an all-American feel, and it's supposed to take place in a fictional town in Illinois, and it looks as though it could be in Illinois. However, the filmmakers had to be very careful to not film the palm trees. South Pasadena is in California and has palm trees, and that's a dead giveaway that you're not in the Midwest. About a 20-minute walk away from Lorie Strode's house, still in South Pasadena, you can find the hedge that was in the very famous scene in the early part of the Halloween film when the teenagers were walking down the street and Michael Myers was following them and watching them, but hidden behind the bush. Now, this bush is still there decades later. Obviously, the owners of the property must like the fact that they have a little piece of Hollywood history because they've maintained this hedge beautifully. It looks just like it did back during its filming. So, of course, I couldn't resist to recreate the scene. Okay, for our next filming location in South Pasadena, we move on from Halloween to the 1985 film Pee Wee's Big Adventure. Notice that the house has been painted, so the color it's no longer red, but the architecture of the house is still very clearly the same house. Of course, in the film, they had dressed up the front of the house with several decorations and props that of course are no longer there. But notice that the white picket fence is still there, so it's very clearly the same house, and with the white picket fence, you can walk right past the corner where Pee Wee runs into his arch nemesis, Francis, for their very first run-in. You can find Pee Wee's Big Adventure house in South Pasadena at 1848 Oxley Street. Now, the other great filming location for Pee Wee's Big Adventure is the Cabazon Dinosaurs, which is actually far closer to where I live in Palm Springs. So here are some photos of a day after Paul Reubens, the actor who played Pee Wee Herman, passed away. I met a friend and we went to Cabazon Dinosaurs to pay our respects. Moving on to another street in South Pasadena, we move on to the filming locations for Back to the Future. On the very same street, there are two different houses that were used for Back to the Future. The first house is the house for the character Lorraine Baines, who later became Lorraine McFly, who was was the mother of the main character Marty, played by Michael J. Fox, and the mother was played by Leah Thompson. Now, just down the street, a few houses down, is the house of George McFly, who is the father of the main character, and the father was played by Crispin Glover. Now, the George McFly house is of interest to Back to the Future fans, but I'd also say that it's a really interesting architecture. So I really enjoyed seeing this house just for seeing the architecture of the house itself. You can find both Back to the Future houses in South Pasadena on Bushnell Avenue. Lorraine's house is at 1727 Bushnell Avenue, and George McFly's house is at 1711 Bushnell Avenue. Now, if you're interested in making the trek to South Pasadena to see these filming locations yourself, there are some other filming locations that I didn't make it to. For example, the movie Father of the Bride, the remake film in 1991 with Steve Martin. You can find that at 843 South El Molino Avenue in Pasadena. Well, I hope you enjoyed taking a look at the filming locations as they stand today of some of my favorite 1980s and 1970s films. Which of these films was your favorite? Let me know in the comments.